Hi cool Wi-Fi kids, welcome to episode 6. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Wi-Fi generations.
But before we start the video, me and my brother want to show you guys something. It's the Lego Car Museum building.
Yeah.
And my dad got it from a conference that's WLPC.
What does that stand for, do you think?
It stands for Wireless LAN Professional Conference.
Oh, that's nice. Well, basically, let's talk about Wi-Fi generations. So, you may know that in your family, you have generations. Your father's generations and your grandfather's generations, and then your great-grandfather's generations, like that. In Wi-Fi, it's the same thing. But it all started in 1997, when IEEE developed Wi-Fi. It had the speed of 1 megabit per second, which is 1 million bits. And it could only work on 2.4 gigahertz, if you can see. Then, as you know, later, back then, Wi-Fi's goal was to beat the wire speed, which had 1 gigabit per second. And it looks something like this.
Like this.
Here's the switch, and here's the
Where
wire.
you put the cable.
Yeah. So basically, that was the goal of Wi-Fi at the time, to beat that. So, they tried to increase the speed. So, in 2009, they released HT, which was high throughput, which introduced 5 gigahertz, which is another frequency band, and then it could go at 600 megabits per second, which is getting closer to the 1 gigabit per second wide speed. This is the first generation of Wi-Fi, which is Wi-Fi 4. Then, in 2013, they released VHT, which is very high throughput. That had only 5 gigahertz because 2.4 had lower quality, and they wanted to increase, they wanted to only have the good quality. But it didn't really work out since most devices back then only supported 2.4 and didn't have the capability for 5 gigahertz. So, however, this did increase the speed, and it got to 6.9 gigabits per second. However, wide speed also increased, and it is like slightly, like definitely more than what Wi-Fi can get to. And then in 2021, they released HE, which is high efficiency, and this was Wi-Fi 6, and it had Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, and 6 gigahertz, which is the third and final frequency band that they have. It's also called Wi-Fi 6E, since they added 6 gigahertz after the first two. Then in 2024, they had EHT, which is extremely high throughput, still going faster, and this one supported all 3 bands and tried to squish them into like one band, sort of. So, this could run at 30 gigabits per second and is Wi-Fi 7. And in 2028, they're expecting to release the next Wi-Fi generation, which is Wi-Fi 8, and is UHR, which is ultra high reliability.
let's do a recap of what we learned today. Well, as you know, there's 4 main Wi-Fis. There's Wi-Fi 4, which is high throughput, otherwise known as HT. There's Wi-Fi 5, which is VHT, which is very high throughput. There's Wi-Fi 6, which is HE, which is high efficiency. And then there's Wi-Fi 7, which is EHT, which is extremely high throughput.
Yeah. So for high throughput, it supports 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. But very high throughput only supports 5 gigahertz. High efficiency as Wi-Fi 6, it introduces 6 gigahertz but also has the other 2 bands, 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. And Wi-Fi 7, also known as EHT, has 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, and 6 gigahertz, and tries to combine all the bands together. Well, thanks for tuning in for this episode of Cool Wi-Fi Kids. Make sure to stay tuned for the next and subscribe to Cool Wi-Fi Kids.
Yeah!